Good morning, students. Let us continue with the chapter on the three questions by Leo Tolstoy. The last thing that we did on Wednesday was that the king who had gone to get the answers for his three questions, of course, did not get the answers at all. And as he thought of going back to his palace, suddenly they saw one man soaked completely in blood coming running towards them. So instead of going back to the palace, the king became busy in taking care of this man. So now, further down, let us see who is this person and whether the king really gets the answers to his questions or not. So let's continue class with the chapter, the last part of it. Meanwhile, the sun had set and it had become cool. So the king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut. The man lay there quietly with his eyes closed. By now, the king was so tired after his walk and the work he had done that he lay down himself and also fell asleep. When he awoke in the morning, it took him some time to remember where he was and who was the strange bearded man lying by his side and gazing intently at him. Forgive me, said the bearded man in a weak voice, when he saw that the king was awake and was looking at him. I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for, said the king. So, this paragraph tells us that taking care of this wounded man, by the time he completed it, the sun had already started setting, and the king felt now instead of going in the evening, late in the evenings, he might as well remain there. So he remained in the hermit's hut and he was so tired with digging the beds and now taking care of the man that he did not realize only when he lay down to sleep. So all of them are fast asleep, the hermit, the wounded man, and the king himself. In the morning, when the king gets up, he's surprised to find the wounded man absolutely looking fine, and he was looking intently, absolutely very closely. Okay, very closely. He was standing there and looking, and suddenly, as the king opened his eyes wide, the man immediately asked for forgiveness. Now, the king got confused. The king did not know why this wounded man is asking for forgiveness from him. Alright, mark the grammar class in this paragraph. The second line, the king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut. Change the voice. Your answer will be the wounded man, with the hermit's help, was carried into the hut by the king. Okay, come little lower down now. You have over there the word remember. Okay, give me the antonymous. Antonymous, opposite. Opposite for remember, answer will be forget. Next line you have the word strange. Again, the opposite for strange. Either it will be normal or you could also write unusual. Okay. Come to the third last line. I do not know. Second last line, sorry. I do not know you and I have nothing to forgive you for, said the king. Rewrite in the indirect speech. So your answer will be you bring that said the king beforehand. So you will say the king said that. Do not write the inverted commas. He did not know him and he had nothing to forgive him for. I repeat, the king said that he did not know him and he had nothing to forgive him for, full stop. Okay, let's continue now. So we have this man asking for forgiveness and confusing the king. Let's go further. You do not know me, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours who sought to revenge himself on you because you executed his brother and seized his property. I knew you had gone alone to see the hermit, and I resolved to kill you on your way back. But the day passed and you did not return. So I came out of my ambush to find you. Your bodyguards recognized me and wounded me. I escaped from them, but would have bled to death had you not dressed my wound. I wished to kill you, but you have saved my life. Now, if I live, and if you wish it, I will serve you all my life. So the wounded man, tells the king that the king will not know him. Why? Because he says he is the person, the king is the person who had executed this wounded man's brother, elder brother, executed, hanged him to death, killed him, and had seized or taken away all his property. And therefore, this man was very angry and he had vowed that one day he would kill the king for killing his brother. And therefore, when he came to know that the king is coming to meet the hermit, he hid himself in that forest. Okay, and came out of the ambush. Ambush meaning the thick forest, in the hiding place. So he hid there and he was waiting for the king to return back. But unfortunately, remember the sun had set, and therefore the king thought might as well remain here. So the king did not go back. And therefore, since the king did not go back, this man thought, now let me go to the hermit's house only and kill him. So as he came out, remember there were guards out there, the ones who had accompanied the king. So they saw this man and they recognized him and they wounded him. They went to kill him. But before that, this man came running towards the hermit's hut. And unknowingly, the king helped and saved this wounded man. Did not know that he was the enemy's brother. But that unknowingly job done, or the good work done, helped to bring peace between them. And he told the king that if he wishes, he can forgive him. And if he forgives him for the rest of his life, he is going to serve the king. He is always going to work for the king. Mark the grammar out over here. You have the word, mark over there. No, I have done before also. Change it into a noun form. It will be knowledge. Okay. Come a little lower down. You have over there, your bodyguards recognized me and wounded me. Okay. Use not only but also. So your answer will be, your bodyguards not only recognized me but also wounded me. Okay? All right. Let's continue. The king was very glad to have made peace with an enemy so easily and to have gained him for a friend. He not only forgave him, but said he would send his men and his own physician to attend to him. The king then took leave of him and went out of the hut to look for the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to beg for an answer to the question he asked. The hermit was outside on his knees, sowing seeds in the beds that had been dug the day before. So the king was very happy. He did not mind that he had helped an enemy's brother. Rather, he felt it was better, at least he made peace with an enemy instead of fighting and killing each other. And he He not only went on to forgive him, but he also said he would send one of his best physicians, best doctors to see that his wound gets healed immediately. And meantime, he bade farewell to this wounded man, and he went and he thought for the last time he wished to ask the same questions to the hermit. So he went out and he saw the hermit was busy sowing seeds on the same patch of land which the king had dug. And once again, he was going to ask the king the same questions. Okay, over here in this paragraph, class, mark the king was very glad. Okay, change it into an exclamatory sentence. Your answer will be how glad the king was. Okay, you remember we start with how because after the verb, if you see, I have very, which is a degree of an adjective, and I have glad. So to be glad. Okay, that is an adjective again. So since I do not have a noun, therefore your exclamatory sentence will begin with how. If there was a noun, it would have begun with what. So please remember that. So how glad the king was, and remove the very. Instead of very, we are adding an exclamatory mark. So you end with an exclamatory mark. Same line, you have the word peace. Change it into a verb. Answer will be pacify. 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 Alright, let's continue. The king approached him and said, for the last time, I pray you to answer my question, wise man. You have already been answered, said the hermit, still crouching on his thin legs and looking up at the king who stood before him. What do you mean? Asked the king. So the king said, for the last time, please answer my questions. So to his surprise, the hermit who was crouching on his legs, crouching means to be on his fours, bending on his legs. He told the king, but already all your questions have been answered. And the king wondered who answered the questions the hermit had not given. How were my questions answered then? So he was wondering about it. Do you not see, replied the hermit, if you had not pitied my weakness yesterday and stayed to dig these beds for me, you would have gone back and been killed by that man. So the most important time was when you were digging the beds. And I was the most important man, and to do me good was your most important business. Now, see, this is what I was telling you, Clan. Many a time, the questions that we ask, we get it through our life's experiences. So, here the king had already experienced it but had not realized about it. The hermit told him this. The hermit said that the most important time was a time when he remained with the hermit. Why? Because if he wouldn't have taken pity on the hermit and helped him to dig, he would have gone back. And if he would have gone back, he would have been killed by that man who was waiting for him in the ambush. Right? So he says, therefore, the best person whom he helped was the hermit. The best time was when he helped the hermit in digging. Okay? And the best time was the time when he did the job. That was the best thing to be done. Okay? Okay, continue. Afterwards, the most important time was when you were attending to that man. For if you had not bound his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. So he was the most important man, and what you did for him was your most important business. Remember then, there is only one time that is important now. So once again, the hermit told him. Another example was when the king helped the wounded man. If he wouldn't have helped the wounded man would not have been able to ask for forgiveness, and they would have not become friends again. So, the most important person during that time was that wounded man. And the most important time was when they asked forgiveness from each other. And the most important work was that the king helped that wounded man. Okay, so the finally the hermit says the most important time in any person's life, whether it is me or you, class, is now, the present. What you do in the present, do it to your best so that you do not regret your future. It is the most important time because it's the only time when we have any power. Yes. I cannot say whatever I have to do today, let me do tomorrow, because I do not know whether tomorrow I will be able to see the bright sun or not, whether I will be there to see the daylight or not. Therefore, when you have the time in your hand, do it now. Don't keep it for tomorrow. The most necessary person is the one with whom you are, for you do not know whether you will ever have dealings with anyone else. So it says, and the most important people are the people with whom you are now. For example, class, now we are in that pandemic time, no problem. You see how it has worked on us so well. We have never been able to spend as much time with the families as we are able to spend now. So these are the best people in your life now. They were, they are, and they'll always be. So somewhere God has gifted us that time to be with the family with you. So you be with them, you talk with them, you interact with them, you play with them indoor games, you watch lovely movies with them, you hear good music with them, and you also learn along with them your lessons. So it is now the time, the best people is the one whom you are with around now. And the most important thing is to do this person good, because for that person purpose alone were you sent into this life. How beautifully the story ends. The story ends by saying, do not go to do big things. Nobody is going to see what great things you are going to do in this world. It's uncountable. The biggest thing that you have to do is to do now, and with whom? With the person whom you love the most, that is your family members. Now that you're there, class with them. So, this time is always going to be remembered throughout our life. How you have spent this time with your family members or interacted with your friends or your other relatives. That remains, not anything else. Okay, so we end with this message that the now, the present is the most important. People whom you are interacting in and around yourself are the important people in your life. Okay, mark over your class. You have already been answered, said the hermit. Indirect speech. The hermit exclaimed, because you have an exclamatory mark there, so you will say exclaim. The hermit exclaimed that he had already been answered, full stop. Okay. Then you come a little lower down. The most important time was when you were digging the beds. Identify the clause and state its kind. Answer will be the most important time was is your main clause. When you are digging the beds is your subordinate adverb clause of time. Okay. Then you have the word important. Give me the noun form, it will be importance. Okay. Then come a little lower down, you have the word remember. Noun form will be remembrance. Alright. And then finally you take the most necessary person is the one with whom you are. Identify the subject and the predicate. So over here, subject is the most necessary person and predicate is the one with whom you are. Okay. So with this class, we end up the chapter completely. Next time when I meet you, that is on Wednesday, I will be sending in the PDF form a scene passage with questions, and I will also be discussing the English workshop of your textbook. So good day class, have a nice day and all the best to you and God bless you.